The lap of Australia rolls on, and it's time just to have a quick look at our boat. She has been with us by our side for the entire journey.
We've towed this the best part of 25,000 kilometres. Over the journey, over the decades, we've probably had close to 10 bar crushes, and in that time we have learned a lot of things to like about this particular brand of boat. The hook, line and sinker bar crusher relationship goes back to the early 2000s when a factory-built plate alloy boat was pretty rare. Back then there were two models in the range.
This is nice. When it gets a bit rough, you just pull down the roof. Look at that.
Over the years the product offering has grown substantially and we've been fortunate enough to sample quite a few. Righto, so hook, line and sinker bar crushers started with the 560, which is now the 610, went to the 640 Cuddy. I think probably from the 640 we might have gone to the 670.
Jesus.
Then there might have been one of these, a 780 thrown in there, then at least two more 670s, very fond of the 670. That was followed by the 730, the mighty producer, hardtop 730, followed by the fishing weapons, the 780 hardtop.
So it all started, I don't know how many years ago, like more than 10, probably close to 15, with the 560, which I think is now the 610, but it's a little pocket rocket, and I remember taking that boat across Bass Strait to Flinders Island. Nick wasn't there. I was actually going to visit him at his holiday house. And it got proper rough across Bass Strait there. I just remember coming off the back of those waves thinking, this boat feels solid, it feels soft, and it feels secure. And pretty much from there, I was hooked on bar crushers.
There have been so many great memories in these boats over the years, it's hard to know where to start. But I guess probably for me, because the memory's not that good, a recent one springs to mind, and that was when we had this boat in the Kimberley, driving it through horizontal falls. You know, to be in that environment in your own boat was something very, very special.
Horizontal falls in our own boat.
Tick! It's a good day. It's just islands and it's bays, and it all feels completely unexplored. When we were there, it was stinking hot, you know, like 40 degrees, and the sea was glass calm, so you could blast around at 35 knots and explore the Kimberley at your leisure. It was awesome.
This year's been great in the big 780. We've done, obviously, the Kimberley. We've done Cape York, which is fantastic. We took it down the western side of Cape York, maybe 60 mile, camped for a couple of nights, caught all manner of fish that you see in the magazines. That was brilliant. Queenfish, that's the one you wanted, Dykes. Probably my favourite memory though would be taking the 670, the little blue 670 hardtop with the 200 Yami right the way around Tasmania. It was an ambitious plan. We sort of timed it with the weather, so it was on and off, but we got right the way around, and the best part of that trip was the west coast. We took the boat out of Strahan and around to Hobart via Port Davey and the south coast and Matsyker Island, and just places that you probably shouldn't really have a trailer boat, but at no time do we feel unsafe. It was just an absolute cracking trip. We've done literally, probably 80% of our boating in bar crushers. So, you know, that equates to thousands and thousands of hours. And the thing that sets these boats apart is their ride.
These boats absolutely love this. This is the sort of stuff for which they are built. In our years of operating bar crushers, obviously we've had them in a range of weather conditions, and I think without fear of contradiction, I've never felt unsafe in a bar crusher. We haven't really been able to cherry pick the weather too much, and it should be noted just what a good, safe boat this big Bar Crusher is. There's always a speed in these boats where they feel comfortable, where they feel happy, sort of no matter what the sea state's doing around you. There's a lot of features that are built into these boats. There are things like the Rigideck construction method, which means there's longitudinal stringers, but there's also bracing going that way. They feel so solid, almost like they're hewn from one kind of piece. They're an amazingly tough, strong, solid feeling boat. The other trick that this boat has, I guess, which a lot of people are familiar with, is the quick flow ballast system. So as the boat comes down off the plane, there's a big void in the keel, which actually fills up with water. So you get the benefits of having that very deep V wave slicer hull, but as she comes down off the plane, the quick flow ballast system fills up with water, the boat settles down on its chines, which makes it a really stable fishing platform at rest.
They are super, super tough, and I demonstrated this, not that I wanted to, but it turned out okay, because I didn't do the bar catch thing quite right, and she came off the trailer in Hervey Bay when there was nobody at the boat ramp except one bloke.
All right, this is a lesson for new players.
Well, I can tell you 45 minutes later, there would have been 20 or 30 people there watching as though it was the best thing they'd ever seen. We had the crane in. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
And it's set us back a little bit.
Yeah.
And my confidence is shot. I can't ever launch or retrieve a boat again.
Fair enough.
Or even be in a boat.
I don't think you'll be asked to.
It was just the most embarrassing situation I've ever been in. We thought about hiding it, but then we looked at Facebook and there was already about 30 posts about how we dropped our Bar Crusher. Lucky they're tough, because all it did was put a little tiny scrape down the side there. It banged the gearbox around on the engine, but that was it. The Bar Crusher itself stood up beautifully to being dropped on the ramp. So you too can drop your brand new Bar Crusher on the ramp and know that nothing will happen to it.
It's the thing that sets these boats apart, their ability to be in the factory one day, out of the factory and on the water the next day, with everything you need to go fishing absolutely at hand. There are a billion rod holders, great bait prep stations, you know, the deck wash, all this sort of stuff that you want is in these boats and they come ready to go. There's really no need for any sort of hole saws or stuff that you might do at home in your garage. A Bar Crusher will come to you ready to go.
Look at this. This is where I sit in the captain's chair.
I'm the captain.
Righto.
Over the journey, we've managed to catch just about everything that swims from our fleet of Bar Crushers, from swordfish to cephalopods, whiting to wahoo. But maybe this day stands out slightly above the rest, a double hookup on blue marlin in our 730 hardtop.
We've got two.
There's another one, yep. I need you to bear that way.
I don't know what to do, mate. We've got two blue marlin
Yep,
on.
okay, good. I need you to go round that way.
Mate, they're huge.
That's a huge fish. That is a huge fish.
2 from 2 on a double hookup of big marlin, and that is a very, very good day. The thing about Bar Crushers is they come ready to go. So all you got to do is pick your sounder. We put a Humminbird in ours. Pick your engine. We put a big Yamaha on ours. That's it. That's all you have to do. They've got, 400 rod holders around the place. Everything is factory fitted, so everything just works.
There are no surprises, I think, when you buy a Bar Crusher. You know what you're going to get. It's going to be a really well-made, well-suited vessel for what you do. The things that you may not necessarily think about is the ease of using the boat. Like, the great thing about these boats, we tow them all over the country and you don't always have a great deal of time to, spend looking after them, but it's really easy to look after. It's basically a hose out job, if you're using the deck wash that's on board.
The other good thing about these is that they hold their value so well because you can't knock them around. They're as good as they come out of the factory. So the resale on these things, if you want to step up a size, it's not a problem. You can get really good money for the one you bought. So if you want to go from a 670 to a 730 or a 780, you can move your 670 on and know that you're going to get good resale for it.
These boats hold their value better than just about anything else on the market. You know, people understand that a bar crusher is a really good quality product, so when they come onto the second-hand market, they tend to get snapped up pretty quickly. So that's always a nice thing to have in the back of your mind.
Bar crusher boats are proudly Australian made to the very highest standard. Hull sizes range from 4.9 up to 7.8 metres with a choice of console, cuddy cab and hardtop configurations. These are boats we love.
If you've got a boat, you know, and a fishing rod, this is what you should be doing, this is what you could be doing.
To find out more or book a test drive, head to barcrusher.com.au.